Alright guys, let's look at this preseason. Let's see exactly what they got for us. 2021 Mythic and Legendary item previews. Over the past few months we discussed our gameplay plans, blah blah blah. We had, different things. Okay. We're about to debut on PBE for an extended 6-week testing period and want to share a preview of the 22 new Mythic items that you can look forward to this November, plus a few dozen new and updated legendary items. This isn't a complete picture of all of the item updates has to offer, but we wanted to focus our first look on the splashiest item tiers. Housekeeping note, things will be pretty early state when you see them. Expect change like icons, items, and effect names, visual sounds, so basic stuff. This is just a preview. Barring massive table flick like item addition, this preview page won't be updated after publishing. Item system will be immensely changed in preseason, and documenting our fine-tuning for that overhaul because it's live won't actually help players understand what to do on day one. When the patch notes come out, they'll have all the details as usual. So I have this article and I have also the last PB update where there should be a lot more details. Marksmen Mythic, okay, so these ones we've seen before. Gale Force for mobility. Attack damage, attack speed, critical strike chance, so it's 20% only. That we've seen from the Riot Scruffy Twitter, that critical strike had changed a bit. Active Zephyr Strike, dash in a target direction. Yes, Gale Force is basically the proto-build of Marksman, firing 3 missiles and the lowest health enemy near your destination, prioritizing champion. Deals some damage plus bonus attack damage. Magic damage increase against low health targets by up to 50% against target at 30% health. Okay, so yeah, basically that's clearly Marksman. The bonus attack damage here means that for Juggernauts it probably won't be that great, honestly, because they don't get as much bonus attack damage. They usually have high base attack damage and some tankiness. So I don't think we can expect Juggernauts to build this. Mythic passive, grant all other legendary items plus 3% movement speed. Yes, that's basically what we've seen with a few tweaks. I think the missiles, there were 1 missile before, now it's 3. Kraken Slayer, that was Behemoth Slayer, if I remember correctly. Anti-tank, yeah, so that's your late game tank shredder item. It's the same amount of gold, a bit more attack damage, more attack speed, critical strike change. Every third attack is enhanced. Hello Vayne, dealing an additional true damage. Yes, hello Vayne. Plus bonus attack damage. Yeah, that's the same ID. Mythic passive plus 10% attack speed. Yeah, so that's basically for the late game tank shredder. That's pretty straightforward. Immortal Shield Bow. That's not the same name as before. It was Crimson Shield Bow, I think. Survive Burst, same goals. Attack damage, okay, it's the lesser one. Less attack speed, same critical strike chance, but some lifesteal. With a lifeline, okay, so that will probably replace Phantom Dancer, I expect. When taking damage of attack, gain a shield. Yeah, so that's basically Phantom Dancer. So I don't think Phantom Dancer is still in the game, or if it is, it's been heavily changed. Maybe reverted to what it was before. Legendary, 8 armor and magic resist. That's quite interesting. That means that it's very valuable against high penetration. Well, let's say more like high lethality, for example. So it's a good item against assassins, generally. Not really against tank shredders. I mean, if it makes you more tanky, it's not good against tank shredders because it doesn't give you a lot, but that's just enough to survive basically a high burst. So if there is a lot of high damage threat, it can be very useful. Tank Mythics, that can be interesting. Sunfire Aegis, oh boy. Is that the Sunfire Cape? a bit less expensive. Health, armor, magic resist. Some ability haste. Okay, 15 for a magic for a mythic item. So that's what? That's a bit more than 10% CDR on a first purchase, basically. So that's not bad. That's something that I was expecting 15 to come back, by the way. Immolate, yeah, so that's basically Sunfire Cape. I expect the icon will be maybe the same. Well, it's an Aegis, not a cape anymore, so maybe it will be different. Damaging enemy champion or nearby monster with this effect adds a stack, increasing subsequent. Okay, that's actually very interesting. By 12% stack 6 times, so that's 72% if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, basically for very durable champions, that's quite interesting to have Immolate scale with time. Radiance, that's new. At max stacks of Immolate, I expect, your basic attack explode around you, burning nearby enemies. For your Immolate damage, okay. So yeah, that's really for the very durable champions, give more oomph to their basic attacks, basically. That can be interesting. But yeah, as tanks don't really build attack speed, I don't expect this to be broken or anything. Mythic, oh, all other legendary items give 5 ability haste. That's interesting. Yeah, I was kind of expecting something like this to exist, although I didn't expect this to be the one. I'm a bit confused about why this one is the one with ability haste, because nothing here seems to stack with ability haste specifically. So we'll have to see, I guess, how it works. I mean, it's nice, obviously. Frostfire Gauntlet. Okay, so it's not Iceborne Gauntlet. Maybe it's been changed. Slow enemies seems to be the same idea. A bit less health, more armor, magic resist, 15 ability haste again. That will probably be the staple standard for a lot, I expect. Also immolates. Frostfire. It actually has a frost field that slows enemies by 30% plus scaling on health. So attacks, is that basic attacks? I don't know. We'll see. It has a 4-second cooldown, so that's not exactly Iceborne Gauntlet. It's not a sheen effect. I don't know what it builds, what's needed to build this, but that can be interesting. Yeah, we'll have to see a bit more in details for this one, I expect. Mythic passive, more health and more size. Okay, so that's really for the big, beefy frontliner that wants to give a lot of peel. This one I expect can be very interesting for things like Braum, for example, for Warden in general. That gives a lot of peel. Health is kind of interesting, and size to get skill shots, to body block skill shots. I wonder what this will do in details. Well, that's interesting. Berserker for initiation. Okay, so that's the Vanguard item, I expect. Yeah. Same health. Same armor, but more magic resist. Still the same ability haste. Active. Okay, an active item. Grant bonus movement speed. Oh, okay, that's kind of Righteous Glory, I expect. When moving. Oh, okay. When moving toward enemies or enemy turrets. 4 seconds. Once near an enemy, shockwave is emitted. Yeah, that's Righteous Glory. Slowing things. Still immolate. So the 3 seem to have immolate. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Mythic passive. All other legendary items give tenacity and slow resist. Yeah, so that's Vanguard. That's the guy who will go in the middle of everything and try to disrupt a lot of things. So that makes sense. I wonder exactly what the difference in usage these two will do. I expect this one will be for more, let's see, not really, aggressive tanks, but I mean not teamfight tanks, more like skirmishing tanks. Things like maybe Malphite or Shen, something like this. This will be more interesting on things like Brom or Tomkench, this thing for probably Leona, I expect, Ornn, that kind of stuff. AD Assassin Mythics. So we have Assassin specific Mythics. I wonder what the AP Assassin Mythics, but I guess it's afterwards. Duskblade of Drakthar, so that's basically the same. Teamfight Multi-Kill. Oh. Okay. Same gold as the tank ones. Attack damage, lethality, a bit less than before I see. A lot of ability haste, that's 20%. I mean, that kind of makes sense, but I wonder if ability haste is really the most useful on assassins. I would expect that it's probably a big boost, but then the rest doesn't really have them. I mean, I'm kind of confused by that in the sense that ability haste and CDR in general is not something that assassins really want. They want raw damage to burst and then they just chill for their cooldowns. So, but yeah, teamfight multi-kills, that might explain it, that they want, you know, an assassin that does a lot of things in a teamfight. Dusk attacking an enemy champion deals 50 to 150, yeah, plus bonus attack damage, no lethality scaling, additional physical damage, and slow them by 99%. Hello, Talon. When a champion who have damage within 3 seconds is scale, reset this cooldown and gain oh shit. Invisibility, okay. Oh my god. Reset this cooldown. Okay, yeah. I'd say that's a Katarina item, but that's for AD, so not really in this case. Invisibility, damn, that's kind of huge. It's not camouflage. I mean, that kind of makes sense though. Mythic, more ability haste, so yeah, I expect that's really for the reset heavy assassins, so maybe something like a Kha'Zix, probably, I would expect. More than a Zed. Zed is probably more interested in blowing someone up and then going back. Kha'Zix might like this one more. Eclipse, so that's not a Leona item. Dueling, okay. Same attack damage, same lethality. Omnivamp, that's interesting. We don't have a lot of Omnivamp. Moonstrike, oh, that's a Diana item. Oh, that's still 80. Hitting a champion with 2 separate attacks or abilities. 2 is interesting, usually it's 3, like for Electrocute. Within 1.5 seconds, deal bonus physical damage. It's not true, it's not magic, so that's itemizable against. Also 15% of their maximum health and grant you 13% movement speed. And a shield for 2 seconds. Okay, yeah, that makes sense for dueling. I'm kind of confused by the 15% maximum health. It's not really the job of assassins to kill tanky targets, but I guess it's just to avoid, just to normalize the damage in general, make it sensible for everything, and avoid having, you know, numbers that are too powerful for one class and not enough for another class. So that might be the reason for that. Some movement speed to dodge some things and a shield, yeah. Shield that scales with bonus attack damage. Yeah, less valuable for ranged champions. Are there a lot of ranged AD assassins? I don't see any right there. For 2 seconds. 6 second cooldowns. Jesus. That's very low. It's very, very low. I find that kind of crazy. Mythic passive, 5% armor penetration. Okay, so we get the same idea. Yeah, I guess that's an assassin item that's more useful when you have beefier targets in general. That's kind of the AD versus Juggernauts / tanks. That's interesting to give them an item to deal with that. So that's I would expect that's probably more going to be used for skirmishers more than assassins, but maybe assassins is supposed to consider skirmishers in it. But having percentage armor penetration and lethality is kind of weird on a single item. I guess both work correctly. I mean, this one works before this one, so you can remove a lot and then deal some pretty heavy damage with lethality. So that might make sense. So yeah, so if you're an assassin and you have and you don't have a clear squishy target, this might be the one that you want. It can also help a lot in lane, I expect, with the Omnivamp. Some should give you some sustain. Now we have Prowler's Claw, Assassination. That I expect is for Z. Okay, more attack damage, more lethality, and a bit of ability haste. I wonder why this one has just a bit of it. From the shadow, dash through target enemy. Oh, targeted dash on an active item active. That's quite interesting. Dealing some damage, bonus attack damage, and reducing the armor by 30%. I'm still confused about it. Same problem for this one, but this one had a clear understanding of what it was for, dueling, so that you can duel a lot of things. But this one I don't really understand why the armor shredding. And it's not penetration, it's reducing the armor, so that can be actually useful in team fights. If you have like a very AD heavy composition, reducing armor by 30% is kind of powerful. Like that's Black Cleaver, but on an active item. 60-second cooldowns. Yeah, you can't really spam this. And more lethality by legendary item. 6 by item over the 21s. I wonder what kind of lethality will be on items. I would probably expect few items to have lethality, considering this. I think the idea will be probably that either you go full lethality with this one, probably another one, and then you have the mythic passive, or you go for one of those two and you have less lethality in general. I don't expect lethality to be very prominent in specific items, other than that. Okay, AP Mythics, mana. Okay, so that's not Assassin Mythics, that's AP Mythics for mana and I guess non-mana. Liandry's Anguish. It's not Torment, it's Anguish. Okay, price same for Marksmen, some anti-tank, yeah, makes sense. Ability power, mana, ability haste, 20% on the first purchase. For CDR, that's we can understand. Torment spells cause enemy to burn. That I need to check the damage, how much it deals basically. 4% of target's maximum health. Okay, that's pretty insane. I think before it was 2.5%, 3%. I need to check that out. And it has an AP scaling as well. And that's that's a lot, I feel. And shredding magic resist by 5% per second for 4 seconds, up to 25. Jesus, that really is a tank shredder item. If you play Cassiopeia and you don't rush this, I don't understand what you're doing. Mythic passive, grant all other legendary items 5% ability, 5 ability haste. I realized that they removed the percentage for the ability haste. That kind of makes sense, honestly. It's the same idea for armor and MR, which aren't percentage as well. So yeah, more ability haste makes sense if you're going with spamming abilities. So yeah, definitely for Cassiopeia or I expect some Juggernauts will like this one. Maybe not as much for the mana, but like Mordekaiser will probably not like this too much. But other than that, that's pretty crazy. Luden's Tempest, that's not Echo. That's too bad. I kind of liked the name because it was kind of a pun. I'm not sure if it was intended, but there was a funny pun with the name. Burst damage, yeah, logical. Same ability, same mana. a lot less ability haste. Yeah, definitely a lot less. That's a bit less than 10% CDR. Still first purchase. And some magic pen. Yeah, logic. That's logical. That streamlines a bit the ID. You don't have to go through Morellonomicon to get the magic pen, which makes more sense in my opinion. There is the echo. Damaging an enemy with an ability deals, yeah, some damage, and 3 Numara, yeah, that's basically Luden's Seiko. Mythic passive, plus 5 magic penetration. Okay, yeah, that's really for the burst heavy, squishy, destroying thing. They're going very, very hard on this, in my opinion. I mean, probably for the best, you know, I'm not saying it's OP, I'm just saying, yeah, that's really very squishy destroyer focused. I mean, if you build this and there is a tank on the other team, you probably won't be able to do anything to him ever at any point. And here we have Everfrost. Yeah, that's the GLP. Slows enemies. It's funny to have Ludens and GLP back as mythic, but we don't have the Archangel. That's the Leandry. So, and we see that with ability haste, they're going a lot more, how to say that? They're going a lot more for differentiating high ability haste from non-high ability haste, and I kinda like that. There is some health on this one. Yeah, I expect this for battle mages. Basically, something like Swain. Swain will probably like this one. Frigid Blast, yeah, so that's the cone. Slowing. Enemies at the center of the cone are... Oh! Okay, that's actually very strong, especially for Swain. I mean, if it's actually rooted, it can grab things. Slowing 55% for... It's a 1.5 second root. That's actually crazy. Then Mythic Passive, plus 15 ability power. That's interesting that it's this one that gets some AP and not this one. I mean, it makes sense to have Magic Pen on this one specifically. But, okay, so that's for more in-your-face, high ability power things. I wonder if things like Kassadin, maybe Kassadin will like this one. More AP. Vladimir probably will like this, although Vladimir will not take something with mana. We'll see the non-mana ones for Vladimir. Exec Rockle Belt. Okay, so that's the Proto Belt. It's not really a Proto Belt now, it's been finished. Mobility. It's less expansive. Ability power, health, a bit more ability haste, 15 again. Yeah, so basically the tankier ones seem to have 15 ability haste in general, for what I see. Active Firebolt, dash in a target direction, unleashing an arc of rockets, yeah. And Mythic Passive, grant all other magic penetration. That's interesting. I'm kind of confused by this one, because this would be used by a lot of Juggernauts, and Juggernauts are really more interested in killing tanks than squishes, so this one makes me wonder, really. Oh, like you have say like 5% or 10% magic penetration, I would have understood, but this one I'm wondering. I'm also just gonna check Firebolt. I expect that's the same. No, it is not the same. Okay, so there is a chance you can actually build those two and have 2 dashes. I don't think that will be very useful, although maybe Kale could like that, or Corky. They're very hybrids. They might actually like to have 2 dashes, but I don't really expect that. But it's interesting to note that it seems that you can have both dashes. Axamuk's Folly. I have no idea if that's someone from the lore. I haven't been keeping up to date with the lore, but let's just check. Magic Vamp, okay, so that's for Vladimir. 80%, 80 ability power, 15 ability haste, yes, MID, a bit less health, but more vamp, Omni-Vamp again. Corruption for each second in combat deal 3% bonus damage, while this effect is max combat. 3% of the bonus damage into true damage. Okay, yeah, so that's for the Drain tank. Mythic passive, grant all other legendary items. Plus 15% magic penetration. You see, this is what I would have been expecting. But I guess this one is more for actual AP juggernauts. I expect Vladimir, well, he's a battle mage, but that actually means the same thing in this case. Swain or Mordekaiser to like this one a lot more than this one. Although Mordekaiser might be interested in some dash, but I think this one will be more, let's just say, situational. I expect against tanks you will want to go this one and deal a lot of damage in long fights. And if it's more about picking a carry, this one will be more interesting. Because carries will be very squishy and you want to be able to get to them. So anti-ADC, for example, this one will be more interesting. But against some more tanky comps, this one I expect. Night Harvester, teamfight multi-kill. Okay. Same gold, same AP, more health. Yeah, the same for this one. Same ability haste. So stat-wise, it's the same as this one. The Reaping, damaging an enemy, deals magic damage, grant you 25% movement speed for 1.5 seconds. A second cooldown per champion. Okay. And Mythic, give all other legendary items plus 5 ability haste. I'm not sure who that is meant for. Honestly, I really don't know, just like that. And I'm still wondering, you know, that's non-mana items. I'm still wondering if, for example, Swain will want one of those. For example, he has mana. Maybe he doesn't need mana items like this that early, but I wonder. This one I'm not sure who that is meant to be for. And it's interesting to note that assassins only have AD here. For the AP ones, I expect Ludens will be the go-to for AP assassins. Probably. I don't know. Let's see what we have below. A Fighter Mythics. Fighter, okay, so that's specifically for Juggernauts and Divers. Trinity Force stays the same name. Too iconic, I guess, to change. Burst damage. Ooh, nice gold. Yeah, it's not the same as this one. I expect 33 will not change much. Okay, they're going full on meme. 33 attack damage, 33% attack speed, 200 health, 15. I expect fighters might have skirmishers as well for the attack speed, maybe. 200 health, ability haste, swift strikes. Your attack grants you 15 movement speed. Okay, I expect Phage is still used, and 15% of base attack damage. Hold on. Okay, so you build base attack damage. That's interesting. Base attack damage increase stacks up to. Okay. That's interesting. And Spellblade, so Sheen is back, I expect. After using the plus 200 base attack damage, which has been scaling over time. Yeah, so that's definitely a Juggernaut items. The thing with Juggernauts is that usually they like to scale over a fight to be more powerful as the fight goes on, and giving scaling base attack damage does exactly that. So I expect this will be very powerful on things like, probably like Garen, who already likes Trinity Force, maybe Darius. Anything that procs on Spellblade, because Spellblade is based on base attack damage. Mythic passive, grant all others legendary items plus 15% attack speed. Yeah, that's for Garen. Garen, we absolutely love this one. And yeah, a lot of fighters in general, I mean, that makes sense. Probably things like Runestone as well. I expect some Juggernauts and a lot of divers will like this one. Gore Drinker. I have no idea what this one is. Dueling. That's probably more for skirmishes. Okay, yeah, same gold basically. More attack damage. More health, it seems. So maybe not ability haste. Base health regeneration. Huh. I'm not sure then. Maybe it's for Juggernauts or 13 deal total attack damage, physical damage to enemies in a circle. Okay, is that kind of the Hydra or Tiamat? Recover some damage on health plus 12% missing health for each champion hit. Yeah, that's. I don't think that's for divers specifically, but I think Juggernauts will like it, and I'm not sure about the health, but I expect skirmishers will like the recovery of health as well. But I expect it. Yeah, I think it's more for Juggernauts. But dueling leads me to expect skirmishers will like it as well. Aggression, gain 1% increased attack damage for every 5% of your missing health. Okay, that really is for Juggernauts. I mean, imagine a Darius with this. That's pretty crazy. 15% attack damage. Yeah, anything that can heal up pretty quickly, basically. Things like Renekton will probably like this. Mythic passive, grant all other legendary items, some ability haste, and some attack damage. Okay, so that's really for the very fairly balanced play styles. I don't think skirmishers will like it that much in the end. I mean, base health regeneration, I don't think they have a lot of health regenerations, skirmishers in general. They're more like based on lifesteal. The health they will probably not like as much. And they're more. I mean, they say dueling, but considering that this works for multiple champion hits, I expect this is for Juggernauts. They're more based on abilities than skirmishers. And an item active that's actually reduced by ability haste. That's interesting. I think Juggernauts are going to have some ability haste, yes, with this as well. So that makes sense. Okay, so that's basically the Juggernaut that wants to dominate lane, basically. Then we have the Stride Breaker, slows enemies. Okay, for maybe divers, they like to keep the enemy in place, basically. More attack damage, more attack speed, still some health and some ability haste. Nimble, dealing physical, grants you 20 movement speed for 2 seconds. Increase to 60 if it kills the unit. Okay. Slash. Lunges a short distance. Jesus. How many dashes do we have? Is still another name. You can have 3 dashes if you... Oh, no. I realize I said something completely dumb. You can have only 1 mythic item. I'm incredibly stupid. You can't build more than 1 of those. Lunge a short distance and deal 110 total attack damage. Total attack damage. So that's for mid scaling on attack damage. So probably not based on what is it called? Not on skirmishers. They probably have more attack damage. I expect it's more for divers or juggernauts. 2 enemies in a circle, slowing them by 60%, decaying over 2 seconds. Plus 3 movement speed. Yeah, that's for divers. They want more general mobility, I expect, and preventing the enemy from going away. Hold on, that's 3. That's 4. There are 4-1. Okay. Divine Devourer anti-tank, yeah, makes sense. Juggernaut is supposed to be good against tanks. Less attack damage, a lot of health, a lot of ability haste. I don't think the other ones have as much. 15, 15, 10, yeah, a lot. I mean, it makes sense. Spellblade, using it deal equal to 6% of your max health. Okay. I mean, if you build tanky, that makes sense that for the other one, that will deal also some damage. But it's interesting to note that this damage will work on squishies very well. With some minimum damage, okay. Feast. When Spellblade hits a champion, heal for 60% of the damage amount. Jesus. Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, Darius will like this one as well. A lot. A lot of drain tanks as juggernauts, they will like this one a lot. Mythic passive, grant all of that. Yeah, so that's basically you make yourself tankier and you become better against other tanks. I mean that makes sense. Thing is, tanks don't have usually any form of resistance, shredding, or penetration, so you don't really need to stack them up as much, but giving some health gives you good tools against tanks in general. Although some tanks do have health percentage damage, like Shen or Ornn, but in general that's pretty good to have. Because the thing is, once they used all their tools, they don't really have much. I mean, tanks surprisingly have a very bursty damage pattern, it's just not very high. So if you have a lot of health and some time to heal for this, a tank can never really delete you. 60% of the damage from Spellblade is actually quite impressive. I mean, 6% of your max health. Yeah, okay, so it's not that big. I mean, you have the bonus damage. It's already physical, so it's probably going to be reduced quite a lot, especially against a tank. Yeah, this doesn't have actually any percentage penetration, so you're not going against. You're not destroying the armor. So 6%, that's 60% of the damage you dealt, and it's already reduced. So yeah, Spellblade will heal you for like 3% of your max health. I mean, it's not nothing, obviously, but it's not as crazy as it sounds. Enchanter Mythics, that I was hoping for. I'm a support main, so I'm pretty interesting. Shurelia's Battle Song. It's not Reverie. Damn. Team Mobility seems to be the same use, though. Less expensive, yeah, that was to be expected. Some health, some ability haste, a lot of ability haste actually, and some movement speed. Inspire. Active Inspire, grant you 40% movement speed, and bonus magic damage on the next attacks or ability hits against champion. Okay, so that's not simple. That's actually quite interesting, because that means that the item has more value as an engage tool than a disengage tool. So if you have a champion like Leona, that's very aggressive, having Shurelia's Battle Song can be actually very interesting. But it doesn't give you a lot of tanking abilities. I wonder how support tanks will like Enchanter Mythics more than Tank Mythics, but I guess we'll have to see the other ones. More movement speed with other legendary items. That can be interesting for roaming ones. Maybe Bard will like this one. For this specifically, and this obviously. Some ability haste, that's a lot of ability haste very quickly. That's very interesting. I wonder though for Mythics, because supports have gold gen items to build, and I wonder if you're supposed like to build this. No, you have to build the gold gen first and then get to this. Let's see, Locket. Survive burst, yeah, I expect this. Less health, a lot less health, but some ability, still also a lot of ability haste. Yeah, that's more tank focused. Intervention, grant nearby allies, shield decaying over some seconds, yeah. Or an aura grant nearby, an aura. They're putting back auras. I thought they didn't like this. I mean, they've constantly been removing all of this. I mean, just 5 or more magic resists, I don't expect that to be... okay, yeah, makes sense. I mean, if it's just 1 and it scales like this, I think people now are good enough to understand those kind of things. The problem is that it's often hidden power, but if it has the aura, ironically, of a mythic item, I guess people will understand how that works. If it's just 1 item, I think that's fair to have it added. Other legendary items, I wonder if completed gold gen items are considered legendary. I hope so. So that means that you can have... How many stacks can you have for this? I mean, if you have this plus boots plus 4 items, yeah, so probably 4 stacks on this. I don't think upgraded boots are considered legendary. Moonstone Renewer. And we don't have... Okay, so Redemption is not a mythic item. Healing Overtime, that's interesting. Health, Ability Haste, Base Mana Regeneration. Oh yeah, those didn't have. Okay, so that's... I mean, they say Enchanter, but these two feels like non-healer in general. I mean, they don't have any kind of mana regen. So I wonder, I think this one will be used a lot for typical enchanters. Maybe these ones will be more interesting for catchers. I think this one for catchers. Controller, I think this should be renamed to Controller Mythics. Because I expect Thresh to prefer this one, or maybe this one, to a lot of the tank ones we have. Moonstone Renewer. So, ability haste, Vital Stream. When affecting champion with attack abilities, heal the most damaged nearby ally. Okay. Each second spent in combat with champion increase these healing effects. Okay, so it has a 2-second cooldown, so you can't do it like all the time. Yeah, so that's very heavy for things like Soraka and Sona. That can be actually quite crazy. Anything that gives a lot of survivability is kind of crazy. Mythic passive, more ability haste, makes sense. I mean, you want to spam things. I don't expect Sona to take anything other than this. I mean, she absolutely needs the mana regen. I expect the gold gen still has the mana regen, so maybe this is not as needed. But yeah, Sona is very mana consuming, so that will probably be for this. Lulu, Janna. Janna might like this one more because of the movement speed, but yeah, Nami will probably like this one a lot. I wonder what they did with Athens for this. And I think we're done with Mythics. I don't have a lot of thoughts yet about this. I think we need to see them in action to really see where things are going. Because all of this, I mean, we don't even have the build path yet. Okay, let's see the new legendary items. The Collector. That's a lot of gold. Attack damage, critical strike, and lethality. Contract killer. If you deal damage that would leave an enemy below 5% health. Oof. Some hard executes? I mean, okay. I'm confused. I don't know who that's for. Because critical strike, that's for ADCs, but ADCs don't build lethality. I don't know. Maybe Graves? I mean, it's kind of crazy to have like a mini a mini Elder Drake with this, live and below. I mean, it's only 5%, you know, like it's not crazy, but team 10 HP will not be a problem with this. Although there will be 10 HP above 5%, I guess. That just moves the problem, moves the frustration. That's interesting. I mean, let's say an enemy. Yeah, that cannot be a minion. I mean, that would be crazy. Enemy champion. That must be an enemy champion. Navori Quick Blades. That's that's a Ionian item. More expensive, a lot of attack damage, a lot of critical strike chance, and some ability haste. That's for things maybe like Lucian, I expect, like Spell Slingers. Maybe Varus. Critical strikes with attack reduce your non-ultimate ability cooldowns by 20% of the remaining cooldown. Wasn't that like the first Storm Razor or something? Or I remember this. I remember this effect. Wasn't it like overly powerful? Wasn't it a big problem? I mean, let's be honest. There are a lot of things that were a problem before that are probably not going to be as much of a problem now that the shop has been completely remade and we have ability haste. So things like this may not be as problematic, you know, resets. Okay. Yeah, for spell slingers, Lucian, basically. Force of Nature. And maybe Senna? Maybe Senna. Force of Nature. That's oh my god, that's actually I just realized. Some health, a lot of magic resist. That's very nice. 7% movement speed. Rhythm of Ionia. Taking ability damage grants you 6% movement speed and magic resist for 5 seconds. I wonder if this replaces Adaptive Helm. I mean, it's kind of like this is the opposite of Adaptive Helm. Taking ability damage gives you magic resist, so you know you take less damage. Stacking up to 5 times. 1 stack per unique ability. When they say unique ability, so that means that the same ability won't give you 2 stacks. Whereas Adaptive Helm give you less damage from the same ability. I'm not sure I understand this one very well. I wonder exactly what that's about. What it's supposed to be against. I'm not sure. Well, that's an MR tank item. It's pretty obvious, but I'm not sure exactly in what specific situation you want to build this one compared to other MR tank items. I mean, Serpent's Fang. That's not a lot of gold. A lot of damage, some lethality. Okay, that's an AD Assassin. Shieldbreaker. Deal 300 additional damage to shields. That's situational. That's understandable. I can see some use. But that's, yeah, that will not be a very popular item, I expect. Especially in low elo, people will not think, hey, I need to build a shield breaker against this champion. They will just go to OPGG and just take whatever is better. Horizon Focus. A lot of AP. Focus Fire. Damage at over. Okay, so that's artillery. That's the artillery mage item. Or immobilizing them reveals the target and increase your damage dealt to them by 15%. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's interesting, but that's actually surprisingly annoying for Vel'Koz, because like increasing damage, yeah, I'm gonna increase my true damage, lol. But I can see some use for looks, for Ziggs especially. Yeah. Reveals the target for how long though? And the damage. Oh, 6 seconds. Okay, that's actually very nice. Revealing, even if you know, hit something in a bush, you don't see it usually, and revealing them can be very useful. Ziggs, for example, he can proc his basic attack with this. Seems dumb, but yeah. Cosmic Drive. AP, health, ability haste, okay. Spell Dance, I expect for spell slingers, dealing damage with ability 10 plus 20% ability haste. Okay, so you get movement speed from ability haste seconds. So that's for Cassiopeia, basically. I mean, anything battle mages. I expect battle mages will like this one a lot. Yeah, some health. Yeah, that's for battle mages. It doesn't have mana though, so that needs to be thought of. But any good battle mage will like this one. Some movement speed plus bonus by ability haste, and you want ability haste as a battle mage. Because usually your survival depends on getting spells, on hitting spells. Demonic Embrace. I think that's the Juggernaut one we seen. Wasn't it like Azakana? No, that might have been another one. I wonder. Maybe it changed name. Cursed Demon Helm. I think that was the one. 80 ability power. Yeah, so that's for Juggernauts, basically, or Battle Mages. Azakana Gaze ability causes them to take 2% of their maximum health every single person. You gain 20 armor and magic rare while enemies are affected. Plus 5 for each additional champion affected. Okay, so that's for team fights heavy battle mages and juggernauts. Might actually not be that interesting for how is it, for Mordekaiser anymore, because Mordekaiser wants to go on a 1v1 basically, and with the 1v1 you can't really stack this. But maybe you're not supposed to want to stack it, and you just want the base one typically, and that's why the additional is just very low number. I'm not sure. Yeah, probably still very useful for Mordekaiser. Cyrilda's Grudge. Cyrilda, isn't that a character from the Freljord? I think so. Yeah, slows. Okay. 50 attack damage. 30% armor pen. Is that built on a Last Whisper? And some ability haste. Grudge. Yeah. Your damaging ability is slow by 30% for 1 second. There is no cooldown on this. That's pretty crazy. I mean, for an ADC, getting this is pretty much building an Ashe passive, and I'm wondering if that's really what you're supposed to want. I mean, does an ADC want this? I mean, I guess there is no... yeah, that's only damaging ability, so maybe not on-hit ADCs, but Spellslinger ADCs might like this a lot. Maybe things like Varus, or maybe Lucian? I'm not really sure who that's meant for, but I guess Lucian would like this. Corki, probably. We'll see that. Silver Weave leg plates, I have no idea what that is. Attack damage, health, and magic resist. Oh, Quicksilver. Okay, is that the new Quicksilver? Yeah, that makes sense. That explains the silver. Wave, remove overground controls, gains tenacity and slow resistance. Attack damage, health, and magic resist. Is that like a tankier version of Quicksilver? Like tankier version of Mercurial Scimitar? I expected something like that for Juggernauts or Divers, maybe. Yeah, it's still not useful for mages, though. Still attack damage focused. Campunk Chainsword. Jesus. That's from Zone. Some attack damage, some health, some ability haste. Seems again like some Juggernaut thing. Cursed. Dealing physical damage applies. Oh, okay, that's Grievous Wound. The character is below 50% health. This effect is effect. Okay. So that seems to be the fighter anti-heal item. That's interesting. That is quite interesting. I'm not sure who is supposed to. I mean, I guess if you have a Juggernaut against a Juggernaut, you kind of won this one. Yeah. Another game tech thing, Fumigator. Oh, it's very low. That's probably for supports. Ability power, ability haste, base mana. Yeah, okay, that's for enchanters. Curse dealing. Okay, cursed is the new grievous wound thing. Da-da-da. Immobilizing enemy champions. Okay. So that's for controllers, basically for supports, and that's for things like Thresh. I expect Leona. Basically, any high CC support would like this. That's good to have. I like not depending on building a lot of armor, for example, to have Grievous Wound as a tank support, and this one gives something very nice. Staff of Flowing Water, that comes back from Black Market Brawlers. I don't really remember what it did, but yeah, that was also something for supports. Oh, Shield, Heal and Shield Power is back. We can expect Redemption to still be here. A lot of AP, actually. Less base mana, healing and shielding, and ally grants you 15% movement speed and some ability power. Okay, so that's not hardened sensor. That's for you. That's pretty nice for things like Sona, for things like Soraka, things that like to be kind of the middle of the fray and very fragile, but not actually getting hit. That can be actually very nice. Ancient Runestone. What? Level 13? Oh! That's Sidestone. This item can store up to 3 purchased control wards. If you place 20 stealth ward, transform this item externally wards. Oh my god, this one is interesting. So you can have some ability haste. That's a lot of ability haste that you can have. I see that there is a lot of 25. I mean, that kind of goes back to what I was saying in my old video, 3 times 25 is basically 42% cooldown reduction. So that gives you kind of the same idea as when you build 20% plus 10 plus 10, although that was for mages. Now that's for supports. I think supports will have a lot of ability haste. Actually, store 3%. And store up to 3 purchased control wards. Oh, okay. I think I got it. So basically, that's very cool actually. So that's a slot that you have that contains actual stats, but you can always have control wards in it. So your stack can always be full with control wards. I mean, that kind of still makes supports very dependent on vision. But first, you can have 3 instead of a maximum of 2, which is really nice. And it's very useful. It's a late game item in general. I mean, it's not. You don't have. I think you don't need to have the item to have this to stack. I think it just checks how many you did, and that's a very cool thing to remind supports to ward. Please, support mains ward more. And oh my god. Oh, okay, I think I'm coming a little. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Runestone. How to go from this to... Oh, okay, so you have this. It transforms into this, and once you have this, you can transform into this with this. Okay. 40 ability haste. That's a lot of ability haste. I mean, that's for late game, so it doesn't change a lot in cooldown reduction. But that's a lot. I was not expecting anything like this. Movement speed is very nice. Yeah, that's the same. It doesn't stack. Okay. But I mean, having 4 stealth wards and 2 control wards at once, that's kind of crazy. That's actually kind of crazy. And it works well with the gold gen that you currently have, because you can have up to 4 wards at the end when you have it completely completely upgraded. So you can have 4 and you can place 4, which makes sense. I'm very happy with this one. I am very, very happy. I need to check exactly the full possibility, because here we've seen only the new things and the mythics, but there is a lot of things that still exist. I expect redemption to still be here and stuff like this. So we'll need to see more clearly what it does, how it works in practice to have this as a late game item. Or maybe not that late game, actually. If you want this more quickly, well, you still need to place 20 wards, so it still takes some time. Updated legendary items. Okay, things that we know. Infinity Edge, speed, less critical strike chance. Again, I don't. 8% critical strike damage. Oh, okay, so it evolves. It's kind of a semi-mythic item in a sense. Guinsu's Rage Blade, attack speed, critical strike chance. Did it already have critical strike chance? I'm not sure. Guinsu's Exile did on hit per. Oh, okay. So it also stacks with strike chance. Can no longer critically strike itself. I mean, it's just another way of balancing it, but I guess it makes sense. Every third attack applies on hit effects twice. I'm not sure exactly how that works. I mean, is that like the same thing as before? Okay, I'll need to check that one out because I'm not really sure. Lord Dominic's Regards. So that was the okay, yeah, it was not. Yeah, that was Mortal Reminder. Attack damage, yeah, armor penetration. Up to 5th bonus against champion with greater maximum health than you. Is there any actual change besides just some numbers? I don't think there was critical strike chance. I don't think there was crit. Essence River. To be honest, I'm not very versed with those items. I cannot see the actual changes that well. But yeah, so there is ability haste, obviously. Nick damage, critical strike chance. I think this one had it. Spellblade. Was it a Spellblade item? I don't think it was a Spellblade item. Next deals an additional base attack damage. Plus, oh, okay, plus 40% bonus attack damage. And restores 3% of your maximum mana. Okay, so it's still pretty much the same in ID. I'm just not sure if it was an actual Spellblade or if it was just an on-hit effect. Phantom Dancer is still there. But I think it's been reverted. Attack speed, crit chance, movement speed, attacks run ghosting, takes 5 times cause spectral 40% attack speed. Okay, so it's not actually a revert, it's just another iteration of it. I'm surprised they didn't change the name. I would have guessed they would have changed the name, considering how often they do that when it's completely changed. I mean, a lot of people are going to build this expecting some lifeline, and it will never happen. I think they should change it. I think they should change the dancer. Goggle Stone Plate. Okay, this one I know a bit. Yeah, ability. I don't think it had CDR before. But this seems to be bigger than before. I think it was 40 of each. Active Monolith. Gain 100 plus bonus health. Shield that decays over. Okay, so you don't double your health anymore. Yeah, that was a weird active, to be honest. It was kind of strange because you had to pop it early which didn't feel great if you were caught. I think the shield is better. I mean, it's more practical, I think. Strength of Stone. Increase your bonus armor and bonus magic 3% for 6 seconds when a champion deals damage to you. Okay, so in big, yeah. So I expect this is the big teamfight thing. Like you're being hit by a lot of things, you get tankier, and you get a shield when you need. So same principle, I mean, it's the same use, better execution, I'd say. Spirit Visage. Some health, some magic resist, that's pretty much the same. Some ability haste, not a lot. Increase all healings received by 25 and all shieldings received by... Okay, so that's healing by 25 and shielding as well now. It's received though. I'm not sure how that works for self-heal and self-shield. I think it still works. That would make it a bit strange to rely on healers to build this, but shielding makes it more practical, I think. Less ability haste, but still a bit. I mean, it's not a first item, so the 10% cooldown reduction will not be as valuable with this. Abyssal Mask. Health, magic resist. That seems... Immobilizing an enemy champion reduce armor and magic resist. Okay, so it's more practical in general. It does not work only for AP heavy comps, which is cool. So that means that even if your damage is very physical, you can use this. Still useful against magic comps, but it's more powerful, but it requires immobilizing. So I think it's a more visceral effect. It's more easy to understand. In a sense, it's kind of the opposite of what we had with Iron Solary, which has, you know, the aura. Abyssal Mask was the last kind of aura. It was a negative aura, not a positive aura. It was a debuff aura, and I think this is better. It more clearly indicates how it works, and you can understand when you have it and when you don't have it. Frozen Heart still there. Shit ton of armor. Still, I think it's less than before though. I think it was 90. It's a lot of mana. Nice ability haste. Embrace, attack speed reduced. Okay, so that I expect is the same. Although it's Winter's Embrace and not Cold Steel, so the path may have changed. The item that gives this has probably been reinvented. Rock Solid. Hello, Malphite. Reduce incoming damage from attacks by up to 7. Hold on, what? Reduce by 7 for 7 total health. Oh. I feel strange that there isn't anything here that confuses me. Like, it's not 7%, it's 7? I'm kind of... Okay, well, the basic idea is the more HP you have, the less damage you take. That's pretty much the idea. So it's an anti-tank item, I guess. But yeah, I need to see the actual values because I'm kind of confused. Randuin's Omen, the anti-crit item. Let's see how it got changed. I think it's less expensive than before. Lots of armor, a bit of health and lots of armor. Some ability haste. Briefly slow enemy, yeah. Okay. Reduce attack damage and critical strike damage. Okay, so it's in the active. And that is the same idea. So I expect this is this must be some component, and they have a different secondary component. The critical strike damage is reduced only on the active. That's good to understand. That's good to know. I'm not sure what to think about this, but that's interesting. Titanic Hydra. Okay. Attack damage and a lot of health. Titanic gains. Okay, so gains attack damage based on health. Was that already the case? I'm not sure. That might have been. I'm not very familiar with Titanic. Cleave, I expect that's kind of the same, but it's attack damage on a cone. Cleave also applies to structure. That I'm not sure if it was the case. But that's okay. So that's the I'm the tank and I want to deal damage. Ravenous Hydra. Attack damage, ability haste, physical vamp. That's new. Physical vamp. I expect it's omni vamp, but only on physical damage. Physical vamp also applies to true damage you deal. Okay. Huh. Yeah. So that's basically for skirmishes. Cleave. Attack deal up to nearby enemies. Okay. Black Cleaver still here. I mentioned Black Cleaver in my last video about how much ability haste it would have. Plus 40 attack damage, a lot of health, a lot of ability haste. Dealing physical reduce their armor by 4%. Okay, so that's pretty much the same idea. I think it's actually even exactly the same idea. Squish. That's new though. Attack and ability against fully shredded deal bonus physical damage equal to 5% of their missing health. 2% for damage over time effects. I mean, this is to avoid the problem with Darius, but even this, I mean, that's crazy for executing champions like Darius or Garen. That's pretty powerful. Let's continue on Starak's Gauge. I wonder if Starak is still melee only now. Urgot would probably like it. Well, not to be. Attack damage, health, rage after data against an enemy champion. Restore some health over 6 seconds. Stack and refresh per unique champion. Stacks and refreshes per unique champion up to 5 times. Okay, and lifeline, still there. Give some shield, plus shield on total health per stack of rage. I mean, now that there is a lifeline for marksmen, I think Staraks don't need specifically to be limited to melee, so Urgot will probably like this one. If he can actually get Death's Dance, ooh, the bane of balance. Attack damage, some armor, some ability. It only has armor now, so I expect it doesn't build from Aegis. Some ability haste, no physical damage taken, 15 for range, is dealt over 3 seconds instead. Okay. Defy champion takedowns, grant you movement speed. Cleanse, ignore pain's remaining damage. I mean that's powerful. That gives you a real idea of how to use the item. You know, you're like, I need to get the kill and heal you. Champion takedown, heal you for total health over the duration. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. I'm not sure how OP it is in practice, but it seems crazy. Wit's End. No 42. I'm disappointed. No 42. I'm really disappointed. 40 damage, attack speed, magic, resist, cursed. Okay, so that's... Wait, that's not Grievous Wound. Bonus attack damage on health and grant you move speed for 2 seconds. It's cursed, but it's not Grievous Wound. Huh. Interesting. Blade of the Ruin King, attack damage, attack speed, lifesteal. It's still lifesteal. It's not physical. It's not physical vamp. It's not omni vamp. It's still pure lifesteal. Ruined Edge, attack still additional 10, 8 for range. So that I get current health on hit. Okay, that's same thing. Siphon. Attacking a champion steals 25% movement speed. Jesus. That will be the bane of tanks. Oh my god. Okay, so a bit more oomph in Blade of the Ruined King. Zeke's conversion. Zeke's, already talked about this one. Health, armor, mana, and ability haste. Still not built from Aegis or Aegis exchanged. Maybe. That's also a possibility. Conduit, designate, and accomplice. 60 per second cooldown. Okay, so it must have changed. When you immobilize an enemy, for the next 4 seconds your accomplice attacks and spells deal some damage plus your total health to that enemy once per attack or spell per enemy. Per attack or spell per enemy. I'm not sure understand what that means. Okay, I guess that it means that each enemy can only be hit by this damage by one basic attack and one of each spell. One cast of each spell. I expect that's how it works. Knight's Vow. Knight's Vow that, very surprisingly, doesn't have any armor. Oathsworn, designated line who is worthy. Doesn't work with ultimates, this one, anymore, which is kinda nice. Prefer that. Vow, while your worthy ally is nearby, redirect 15% of damage they take to you, and if they have less than 50% health, gain 35% movement speed while moving towards them. Jeez, I'm getting tired. One nice. So damage stop if you have less than 30% health. Okay, it's the same idea, I just a bit more general in its use. It's more health regen and pure health. Doesn't have armor anymore. Makes it more less situational. Michael's Blessing, that's not Michael's Crucible. Oof. Oh jeez. Okay. Health, ability haste, base mana, Quicksilver Gift, remove all crowd control debuffs from any. Okay, it's not a list now, it's all crowd control debuffs. And heal them. That's kind of the old Michael in a sense. But this is actually very crazy. Like for this, just for this. It's crazy. Mortal Reminder. There is the cursed. Attack damage, attack speed, critical strike. I don't think it still is supposed to be there either. Movement speed. Applies grievous wounds. 3 consecutive attacks on an enemy champion. Enhances this effect to 60%. What I mean by 3 consecutive, I expect it's like Vayne Silverbolt. Let's see. We'll see that. Thornmail, still there. Health and armor, still cursed. Still a lot of armor on it. That I don't really like, but I can understand that this one will be more focused on removing lifesteal. I mean, we have more grievous wound possibilities. We have more alternatives now, so I think it's fine. We're struck by an attack, magic damage to the attacker. Yeah, deal to the attacker. Stand bonus. Apply 40% grievous wounds to our champion. Immobilizing applies 60% for 2 seconds, so there is still a part that's active in a sense. So I understand. Morellonomicon. Wonder how it builds now. AP, health, still grievous wound, below 50% health, increase to 60%. Makes sense. So basically we skip the magic pen. Mura mana. Attack damage, lots of mana, obviously. And ability, although lots of mana, that's 750. That's not 1,000. Okay. Oh, gain 3% maximum mana attack damage. Single target abilities and attacks on champions deal 5% maximum mana bonus physical damage. I need to check how this one works currently. I'm not sure if it had some changes. Some cooldown reduction is nice. I mean, some ability haste. Seraph Sunbrace, still 750 and not 1000. Lots of ability power. Good to note that this one is not a mythic. You know, neither of those are mythics. So that means that tier has to be taken fairly quickly, and that means that it slows down your ability to finish your mythic item. Oh, again, yeah. So this one is attack damage. This one is ability power. That's 3% maximum mana, and this one is 3% bonus mana. Small difference. Empyrean, increase your maximum mana. Wait. Increase your maximum mana by 5% plus 2. Where is the active? Where is the shield? There is no shield. I'm not seeing any shield. You will have to see this one. The items below were involved into some of the mythics. Yes, and 5k became Aegis, Righteous, all of this we've seen. Ludens, Protobelt, 24s. Locket. Removed legendary items. These items had effect that were too far off the mark to salvage, too heavily overlapping with other options, able to be accomplished better in other ways, or only needed because the item system wasn't able to properly support its user overhaul. Adaptive Helm, okay, so it's been removed. Athenes, that's too bad, I really like this one. Frozen Mallet. Yeah, if they remove Frozen Mallet, I hope that Star's Gauge is usable now by Urgot. Yeah, the GLP. Well, wasn't GLP kind of like changed into a mythic? I wonder why this one wasn't put there. X-Tech Gunblade. Yeah. Okay. I guess. Spellbinder. That's surprising. Static Shiv. Yeah, it was kind of off meta for a while. Twin Shadows. Oh no. The Spoopy Boast. Spoopy Ghost. Jungle items. There is no jungle items anymore. Okay, we'll have to check that. Maintain legendary items. These items will have balance changes and often changes to the stacks they offer, but their effects work the same, so you'll play around for specific. Now we're just including a section for people who control F for specific legendaries. Sensor, yeah. Okay, so a lot of things have been untouched. Basically, Redemption is untouched, Rabanance is untouched. Riley is still there, Renan. I'm just looking at things. Warmog still there, Zonia. Jungle items, okay. What happens? We're taking cues from last year's update to support items which reduce super gold investment in their items to a one-time starter purchase. Jungles will pick one of two starter items, which, after smiting a few times, will disappear from their inventory to permanently grant its effect as a passive and upgrade smite to chilling or challenging. Kind of reminds me of Miracle of Elysia, the item that was removed from your inventory after like 3 level ups, I think that was. New Duran items. Yeah. Duran's Forge Heart. It's always funny how new items are more complex in their names than the old ones. You know, you have Duran's Ring, Shield, Blade, and then that's Forge Heart and Hail Seed. Okay, so yeah, just a few goals. Omnivamp versus monsters. Okay, that's specific. Tooth and Nail. Damage monster, burn them. Die the burn immediately. Ashen Path. Smiting 5 times. Consume this item to upgrade your smite to challenging smite. Grant the effect of this item permanently. Huntsman. Killing large monster grants 50 bonus expansion. Okay. Regenerate up to some mana per second when in the jungle or river. Okay, so that's basically the same idea with this changing. Yeah, same thing. Omnivamp versus monsters. Tooth and Nail, is there any difference? I don't think so. Frostworn Path, same thing except it's Chilling Smite. And Sman, I think that's the same, and this is the same. Okay, so that was a lot of things. Let's look a bit more in details what we have here. Hope, change, item and shop upgrades. Let's see. Ooh. Okay, let's see what changed visually. I think item shop update. Did I say this one? Just want to be sure. Yeah, that I've seen. Okay, check more. That's all that's been said, but I want to see the actual changes. Do we have the actual changes currently? Seems you don't right now. Okay, let's just check a few. That's not tweets, but that's Scruffy. For all feedback. Okay, feedback for all of this. But do we already have new items? Like, do we see? It seems we don't. Except this. I think this can give us some idea. Okay, some tweak on this. I think a lot of icons here are just tweaks. Even this one seems a bit different. New boots look great. I have no idea what this one or this one are supposed to be. This one might be the, considering price, that might be Sorcerer's Boots. Because that is BF, Needlessly Large Rod, Pickaxe, Blast Wand, Stopwatch has been changed a bit. Negatron? No, not Negatron. That's the crit. The crit cape. That's Negatron. Cloak, Amplifying Tome. This one I don't think has changed. The Ruby Crystal. But this one has changed. A lot of items have changed. Cloth Armor has changed. Which one is that supposed to be? The attack speed one? That's the mana regen speed. That's the health speed. That's Doran shield. Kel is still there. That's interesting. Wonder what this one is supposed to be. Tier hasn't been changed yet, but I expect it will be. Is that Doran's blade? I think that's Doran's blade. That's Doran's ring. New spell thief. Okay, so some tweaks. Spell thief has been changed. Steel shoulder guards. Relic shield seems to be the same. Spectral sickle is a bit changed. That must be the two jungle items. And here, Dark Seal. What else has changed? I wonder what those borders mean. Aegis of the Legend is still there. We don't see the path though. But like the small cleaning they've done. Lost Chapter has been changed a bit. This one hasn't changed yet. That must be Quicksilver Sash. I like the Mercury feel of it. Makes sense. That hasn't changed yet. That I'm not sure what's that's supposed to be. Neither is this. There are a lot of things that I'm a bit confused about. This one I don't understand. That Zeal. That probably is Tiamat, I expect. Okay, so that's just a placeholder. That's a placeholder too. That's the same. Phage. This one I don't know what that's supposed to be. That's the lethality item. I don't remember the name. That's completely new. Gunblades. Both Gunblade items have been removed, so I wonder why this one is still there. That's an old repurposed placeholder. That must be a recurve bow. This one, that might be the thing that gave Cold Steel the AS debuff. But that might be another thing now. I have no idea what this is. That Bami Cinder. Yeah, that's the mana and armor item. That's the Fiendish Codex. That's the HP item. That must be damn it, how is it called again? The one that gives AP and armor for Zonias. Don't remember. Vampiric Scepter. Not Negatron Cloak, but the thing that Negatron Cloak becomes, I expect. Aether Wisp, probably still the same. Chainmail, still the armor item. That might be for Morellonomicon, but I don't expect it to have any kind of penetration anymore. Okay, so we're seeing a lot of things yet already, I mean, but we don't have a lot of details. Unfortunately, this is not there yet. All of this is taken directly from the article. Okay. Well, that was already a lot. So, well, yeah, we will have. I think I could try and do an analysis, an in-depth analysis, but to be honest, before we have actual tests, like at least some PBE testing, to understand how things work, I don't think we can really say anything that will matter in 2 weeks. So yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it at that. And we'll see when we have more actual information about all of this. So yeah, I think I'll leave it at this. Well, then I wish you a very lovely day and see you next time.